So while it is Monday, it is a little bit of a restful Monday, or at least I'm trying to rest this Monday. I had a slightly difficult weekend. I've been having some allergies and sneezing and eye watering, and I found that the whole weekend I really wanted to rest, but I think some part of me was feeling guilty about resting. I don't know if any of you have been feeling that lately, that you really need a break, and at the same time you're not totally giving yourself the permission to switch off. I realized that, we're all, many of us are holding this badge of honor in relation to busyness. And I rarely think, okay, you know what, I laughed a lot this weekend, or I cooked something for fun, not because I had to, or maybe I had an argument with someone and I made up with them, and that's a huge achievement. Or I took an afternoon nap, or I took a walk and I took an unusual route, or maybe I connected to an old friend. I mean, all these things are actually things I've done this weekend, and still some part of me, as I went to bed on Sunday night, was saying, it wasn't as productive a weekend. You didn't do all the things you needed to get to. And I started to, look at this. It's a chronic busyness syndrome, right? A lot of us suffer from this. We yearn for rest, but then we feel anxious and we feel worried that we're being lazy. And even that word, lazy, it kind of tells us that we're doing something less than. Now, these feelings, they stem from our thinking mind, and I think that's part of human nature, that, our mind is still in survival mode. And so there's fear and there's myth at work when we're trying to rest and we can't. There's fear that, maybe we'll lose our mojo, or we'll lose our momentum, or we're afraid of being irresponsible, afraid of seeming less efficient, afraid of failing. And then also the myth that productivity is to be heralded as a heroic thing. And when we're in this place of guilt due to fear or myth, anything that we grew up with that tells us that being busy is better, or like Levin says, coming to things with a scarcity mindset, we get stuck in shame. And we've talked about shame and guilt on Keeping It Light before, getting tied to the shoulds, patterns that make us feel guilty about resting. The thing is, if we're busy all the time, our life lacks essential rhythm. And we miss out on the contrast between doing and not doing. And the art of rest doesn't mean that you replace constant busyness with complete inactivity. Now, that's not the thing. There's something called the ultra-radiant healing response. And what that means is there's a biological rhythm that you can attune yourself to. Usually it's about 90 minutes of activity, followed by about 20 minutes of rest. And this is what research tells us is the ultra-radiant healing response. It's almost like a sprinter. A lot of sprinters work for high intensity and then they take a period of rest. And it could be 90-20 or 80-20 or whatever. I think you have to kind of find that. The nice thing is that just seeing that our anxious thoughts about being lazy or being unproductive are unrealistic and unhelpful, that already assists us in breaking the pattern, because taking breaks does make us more productive, right? So there's an interesting thing about figuring out whether you're an active rester or an inactive rester. And what I mean by that is some people actually find that if they're exercising more, or if they're doing something passionately, something that they love, which is a little bit outside of their everyday work. So it might be gardening for someone, or it might be, for some people, dusting and organizing things is very restorative and very therapeutic. Those people often find that they're active resters, so they feel more rested when they're doing something like this. And inactive resters, completely beautiful as well. Being able to daydream on a couch, being like a cat, or, taking a very slow stroll, or just taking naps. And I think figuring out, whether you're an active or an inactive rester is a very cool way to make space for yourself. I think, me personally, I'm a little bit of both. I like that combination, and I didn't use it this weekend. This weekend I just kind of beat myself up because I wasn't feeling well, and I was feeling resistance to any of the things on my to-do list. And I read up some suggestions so that maybe I can stop doing it today. Technically, today is a holiday in the United States, and there were some interesting things that I found, which I might try one or two. One is applying the rule of threes to your to-do list, which could be remove 3 things from your to-do list. That might be nice, actually. A second one was create a not now list, which is the opposite of your to-do list. Your to-do list should only have those priorities, right? Anything that isn't urgent goes on the not now list. And that way you don't forget to do them. And you can check them maybe just once a week rather than every day, which is something that I've been doing. And it just kind of fills me with this anxiousness that, oh my God, there's still so many things to do. But the not now list can be written somewhere and put away and only checked one time a week. And the other thing which is interesting is taking an example from the financial world. You know how things are accounted for? You budget for things when you're starting a new project. The same way you could actually budget for leisure time. So let's say you're a very passionate gardener, maybe just budgeting 15 minutes a day, maybe 3 times a week, is so beautiful. Because then if you're a compulsive doer, it's an assignment. It's actually an assignment in your daily schedule to take that time off, doing something that you love or doing some nothing. And finally, the one that I'm going to use today is an acronym that a mindfulness coach, Heather Prete, talks about. And it's an acronym, STOP, S-T-O-P. S is stop what you're doing. T, take a breath. O, observe. And P, proceed. I love that. So, if you'd like, try a stop with me. So stopping everything that we're doing, and in this case, for me, it is stop worrying about the things left to do. T, take a breath. Inhale and exhale. O, observe. Maybe it's just observing what's around you right now, or observing your breath pattern. And then finally, P, proceed. Let's take 2 more breaths together as we use our STOP Inhaling at your own pace, your own breathing pattern, and exhaling. And one last time, taking a nice breath in and exhaling. And remembering that STOP can really help us reset and just break a little bit of our patterns in a very gentle way. Stop what you're doing, take a deep breath, observe, and proceed. I hope you have a beautiful day ahead. And I hope I will be kinder to myself and actually take some time off without feeling guilty. Send me some good energy. I definitely need it today. And lots of love. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a beautiful day.